When I think of my personal filmmaking toolkit, there are a number of things that I deem extremely necessary. But the piece of gear that helps my own creative process more than anything might not be what you think. The words that come to mind when thinking of filmmaking: imagination, escapism, but most importantly, emotion. Funnily enough, these words could be used to describe the PS5 and gaming as well. Let me explain. To understand where I'm coming from with this review, I'm going to be breaking it up into two parts. Part 1, the filmmaker. Because you're going to need to understand how I game, and specifically what I game. And then the console, because you are going to need to understand if it's worth buying when it's back in stock again. Now, the games I play are narrative focused. Games that engage you with the narrative's world, characters, and plot. Games that get you so invested it's like playing an interactive Netflix show. It's important to understand that I think that video games like Uncharted are genuine art. A video game isn't just a game, it's a controlled passage through an overwhelming aesthetic experience. Video games are the only form of media that allows for personalizing the artistic experience, while still retaining the authority of the artist. In video games, we have three distinct voices: the creator, the game, and then the player, the filmmaker. Those who play a game are following the story of the author and are bound by the constructs of the rules. But based on the choices that we make, the experience can be completely personal. I firmly believe that if you can observe the work of another and find it in a completely personal connection, then art has been achieved. Video games have directors, screenwriters, actors, artists, and not even to mention it takes 4+ years to finish the making of a game. This is something I bear in mind every single time I'm playing. And like the obsessive compulsive I am, I make sure to read every single article and watch every single video on the making of the project, just like I do with every single film I love. Watch every single behind the scenes. Gaming for some is just a pastime, and that's completely fine. But for me, it's art that I consciously consume. But even more than that, it's the inspiration I get from these games. The creativity, the immersion, and the emotion, it all influences my own filmmaking. That's why I love it. Cinema is a vessel to experience film, much like a console is a vessel to experience gaming. The PS5 is probably the best way for you to consume the best first-party narrative games ever created. So, with that being said, let's start with the design. Yes, it's quite out there, but I think it's quite cool too. I love the design. It does take some getting used to. The tower of a console definitely makes a statement, and I'm all for it. The console is extremely silent, but I do have to mention, if you're a physical media lover like myself, the disk drive does make some noticeable sound, but only at the startup. But the best thing by far, at least for me, is the speed of the console. Everything is responsive, and the new UI is fluid and lightning quick and super sleek. Games launch in seconds, and even multiplayer games feel like it just got a speed patch. This is the first next-gen console, and yes, I've owned every single one of them, PS1 all the way to PS5, that actually feels next-gen, if that makes sense. I've seen some people experience crashes and faulty systems, but from my experience, I can 100% attest that I have not had any hiccups and it's running like a dream. And yes, I've used it in rest mode. Now, there is another star of this console launch, and it's something that I thought was just going to be some marketing spiel and probably just a gimmick, but it impressed me far more than the console itself. The controller. Advertised for having haptic feedback, making you feel the surfaces you walk on in-game and so much more, But after playing the demo game Ashley's Playroom, I have to say I was amazed. Everything feels different. Walking on sand feels different from walking on grass, and you can even feel the tension of a cord being pulled or a gun being shot. It's truly amazing and something that you definitely have to experience on your own. So in summary, for me, this is the best console to own. And I'm not looking at the numbers and the specs, because in the end, that's just marketing. What really matters is the games and the experience, all which is absolutely thriving with the new PS5. I honestly cannot wait for the experiences and the inspiration I will get from this console for the next couple of years. So thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers.